Schools are supposed to feel safe. But what happens when the sound of the intercom saying lockdown suddenly changes everything? Tonight, I'm going to share 3 true, spine-chilling lockdown stories that left scars on the students who lived through them. These are not legends, not urban myths. These are real accounts of terror that unfolded inside classrooms where the walls meant to protect suddenly became a trap. Story 1. The Man at the Window. It was a quiet Thursday afternoon at Jefferson High. The history teacher droned on about the Civil War, while students doodled in notebooks and passed folded papers under desks. Then, the intercom crackled. Attention staff and students. This is a lockdown. I repeat, this is a lockdown. Please follow protocol immediately. Chairs scraped. Hearts raced. The teacher quickly flipped the lights off and motioned for everyone to move to the corner farthest from the door. Phones on silent. No one makes a sound, she whispered, her voice shaking more than she wanted it to. The classroom plunged into darkness, only lit by the faint glow of phones. Everyone crouched low. Minutes dragged on, every sound magnified. The hum of the AC, the creak of pipes. Then came the first noise. Tap, tap, tap. A rhythmic knocking against the window. At first, a few students exchanged nervous glances, thinking it was just the wind. But then tap, tap, tap louder, deliberate. One brave student, Tyler, risked a glance. His eyes went wide. At the second-story window was a man, his face pressed against the glass, grinning with teeth that seemed too wide, too eager. Asterisk. Oh, my God! Tyler mouthed. The man dragged his fingers down the glass, leaving streaks, then started pounding harder, harder. Thud, thud, thud. Students covered their mouths to stifle screams. The teacher clutched her phone, hands trembling, dialing 911 with slow, careful taps. Suddenly, the man's grin faded. He tilted his head, as though he heard something inside. Then, silence. Everyone waited. Seconds ticked by. Just when relief seemed possible, the pounding started again, this time at the door. Bang! Bung! 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 Students huddled tighter, some crying silently. After what felt like hours, police sirens wailed outside. A voice shouted over a megaphone. "Step away from the building!" The banging stopped. The man vanished. When officers cleared the school, they found no weapon, just fingerprints smeared across the window glass. Later, they learned he was a drifter who had been spotted loitering near schools for weeks. They never caught him. And to this day, Tyler swears that when he walks past that same window, sometimes he still sees a faint smudge of a handprint, like the man is still waiting to be let inside. Story 2. The girl in the bathroom, Maplewood Middle School, had just finished lunch when the lockdown siren blared. Students rushed into classrooms, but one girl, Limily, was stuck in the bathroom. She froze, unsure what to do. The hallway was already empty, echoing with the metallic ring of the alarm. Her phone buzzed. A message from her friend. Get in the classroom now, but it was too late. Doors were locked. Emily ducked into a stall, lifted her feet, and tried to breathe quietly. The school was eerily silent. Then, footsteps. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Clack, clack, clack. A man's voice broke the silence. I know you're in here. Emily clamped a hand over her mouth. Tears welled in her eyes. The footsteps stopped right outside her stall. The shadow of boots was visible under the door. Then, a low chuckle. Tap. The handle of her stall jiggled. Once. Twice. She bit her lip so hard it bled. The handle stopped moving. Then the boots turned, and she heard another stall door creak open. Then another. One by one. He was checking. Getting closer. Her heart thudded so loudly, she feared he'd hear it. Just as the stall next to hers groaned open, the loudspeaker blared. Police are on site. Stay where you are. The bathroom door slammed open with a crash. Multiple officers' voices shouted commands. Get on the ground! Hands! Where we can see them! Emily stayed frozen until a female officer gently opened her stall and whispered, You're safe now. The man was a former janitor, fired months earlier. He'd hidden in the school overnight, waiting for his moment. Emily didn't speak about it for weeks, but one thing she never forgot the way. He chuckled, like he was playing a game, only he enjoyed. Story 3. The Gymnasium Lights. It was late October at Ridgeway High, and the varsity basketball team was finishing practice when the lockdown alarm cut through the squeak of sneakers on the gym floor. Coach barked orders. Lights off! Everyone against the wall! Now! The massive gym went dark, echoing, and hollow. The only sound was the faint buzz of the exit sign. The double doors rattled. Someone was trying to get in! Then a loud crash echoed, like metal hitting the floor. Is it police? Whispered one player. Coach shook his head. Stay quiet. The gym doors finally swung open. But instead of light, darkness swallowed the space even more. The sound of boots echoed against the polished floor. 1, 2, 3 pairs of footsteps. Suddenly, a beam of light swept across the gym flashlights. Voices murmured. Not police. Not security. Strangers, check the bleachers. The players huddled tighter. Someone started praying under their breath. The footsteps grew closer, the flashlight beams inching toward them. Then just as the light reached the corner where they hid, the fire alarm erupted. Screeching! Blinding noise! The intruders cursed, stumbling in the chaos. Police later revealed it was a planned break-in by armed men who thought the gym stored expensive equipment. They hadn't expected the team to be there. Every player remembered the moment that beam of light almost landed on their faces. If the fire alarm hadn't gone off, they might not have lived to tell the story. Schools should be safe havens. But as these stories show, even in places we trust most, danger can come without warning. These lockdowns ended with survival, but not without scars. So next time you hear the intercom announce a lockdown, remember, it isn't just a drill.